So I thought that it would be important or relevant that I speak about attachment. Hi there! Hello everyone. Happy New Year again. We're still in January, so I think I can still say Happy New Year. Anyways, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Life Mastery. My name is Sharika Swaby. I am the content creator for this channel. I don't know where that comes in. And I just became a published author. If you didn't hear that in one of my previous videos, this is my book. And it's not a big book, it's a really easy read. And it is designed to do exactly what this channel is designed to do. Help you to become the best version of yourself. So purchase a copy if you so desire. The link will be in the description of this video. So what do I want to talk about today? In my last two videos that I uploaded, one of them was an interview about setting goals, and the video that I did, the New Year video that I did, was also about setting goals. So I thought that it would be important or relevant that I speak about attachment. Why? Because human beings, we tend to get attached to the things that we accomplish, to the things that we buy, to the people in our lives, right? We tend to create a emotional connection with those things. And when we do that, if anything happens that upsets what we have going on, you lose your job, you lose your house, a family member happens to pass away, not something that I'm wishing, but just saying that something like that can happen, or you lost your car or something. We have become so materialistic, so to speak, that we attach ourselves and our identities to the things that we accomplish, to the things that we do, and we now tell ourselves that we are this person. I am the person who owns this car. I am a teacher. I am a podcaster. I am this and I am that. I am a mother, and so on. And when we do that, what happens is we are making those things and situations a part of our identity. And so if anything breaks off from what we've created, what we've done is essentially we break apart, because now we lose that thing, so now we no longer know who we are. And I wanted to do this video because I talked so much about goal setting in the last two videos, and I thought it's relevant that we understand that we are not anything outside of ourselves, right? So you're not your car, you're not your house, you're not your job, you're not your money, you're not your family, you're not your kids, even though they may come from your loins. They are not you, right? They don't define you. Nothing defines your worth outside of yourself. And even though I talk about goal setting so much, it's important that it is understood that the things that you accomplish does not define your worth, right? The things that you do does not define your worth. Your worth is your worth, and that's just it. Just like your teeth are your teeth, and nothing that you do will turn them into your lips. So is your worth, your value, your identity is just that, right? So nothing that you do will change who you are, what your identity is, what your value is, and what your worth is. And before we start setting goals, before we start aspiring to become amazing contributors to our society, I think it's important that we know who we are first, right? We know that we are spirit first, and that we are worthy first, and that we are a child of God, a child of the universe, that we are limitless, that our potential has no bounds. It's important that we know all of that before we even begin to set goals, because when we get comfortable with who we are first, then the things that we aim to accomplish, we're not aiming to accomplish those things because we want to become somebody, right? We aim to accomplish those things because we know who we are, we know what our purpose is, and we want to contribute to this society in an amazing way. And that's how we show up, and that's how we give ourselves to the world, and that's how we don't add to the knowledge and the wisdom and the power and the wealth of the cemetery, because we have identified who we are, and we've decided that the mission that we came here to complete, what we came here to add to others, we ensure that we deliver that. But we don't do that in a way that takes away from who we are. We don't lose ourselves in that process. So we find ourselves first. This is important. This is very, very important, because many people, let's use celebrities for example, and I'm using celebrities, is it celebrities or celebrities? Whatever the case may be. I'm using them because those are the ones that we would read about in the media. Those are the ones that they'll show us. Those are the stories that we'll hear. A lot of people in those categories, if you watch them, if you follow them, if you read their stories, you'll find that the ones who crash and burn, the ones who maybe committed suicide, or the ones who got rich and then lost it all, or the ones who lost their weight, all of that happened because they were able to amass wealth and some kind of success before they identified who they are, or they lost themselves, they lost their identity in the process of getting all of that, right? And so because they lost themselves, or because they don't know who they are, it creates a kind of dissonance. It creates a problematic situation, and that losing of self creates a loss of everything else. So it's very, very important that you know who you are first, right? Identity is important. And when I say identity, I'm not talking about your career or where you came from or your name or I'm talking about where you came from in terms of your creation, right? What created you, what force. It's important that you know that you're a child of God, you're a child of the universe. You lack nothing. You need nothing. You're beautiful, you're handsome, you're amazing, you're charming, you're charismatic, you are intelligent and intellectual, you are a genius. It's important that you know that you are all those things. It's important that you know that you are a part of everything that is anything, right? It's important that you know that you're an extension of God before you do all of that. When you get to know yourself on a level where you can identify that within yourself, your aspirations, your moving, you're taking action, you're going forward becomes so much more purposeful and so much more meaningful. And that's why it's important that you learn who you are first. And when you know who you are first, when you have a practice that reminds you who you are, when you step out there and you are ready to shine, you won't become attached to the things that you're creating. You won't become attached to the things that you're accomplishing. You won't become attached to the money that you're earning. You just know that you came here to do what you came here to do. You're doing that thing, and because you're doing that thing, you're being compensated for that thing. because that's the law. That's how it works. You have something, you give it to somebody, or you trade it with somebody. In return, they give you money. That's the process. Nothing is wrong with it. It's just the process. The only problem is you shouldn't get attached to any of that stuff. You should be able to be at peace with yourself, no matter where you are, no matter what situation you're in, no matter how you feel like life is not going your way. There should be some amount of peace within you, because you know that who you are is not identified, is not determined by any of that stuff. So there is this $100 demonstration that has been used, right? And I don't have any cash beside me, but I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen it a couple times, but done in different ways by different people. All right, so I have a piece of paper, so I'm gonna use a piece of paper. All right, so let's say this piece of paper represents $100, right? This piece of paper represents $100. Perfect. Now, it is $100. No matter what you do to it, it still is $100. No matter who you give it to, it remains $100. No matter what happens to it, it remains $100. And say this is, I crushed it, right? Still $100. If I dip it in water, it's still $100. If I stand on it, if I stomp on it, it's still $100. It doesn't matter what I do to it. At the end of the day, when I take it up, it's crushed. It's a little damaged and crushed up, and it's not exactly as it was before, but it's still $100, right? Nothing changes about it. What this is saying is, if you go through hard times, you're still worthy. If you accomplished the world, you're still worthy. If you're flat broke, you're still worthy. If you are a multi-millionaire, you're still worthy. If you bought a house then lost a house, you're still worthy. If you became a millionaire and then you were broke again tomorrow, you're still worthy. If you don't have any education, you're still worthy. If you are not able to read and write, you're still worthy. You can learn to read and write, but none of that determines your worthiness. Nothing determines your worthiness. If your mom threw you out, you're still worthy. Your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife walked away, you're still worthy. Your neighbor doesn't like you, you're still worthy. People don't like you, you're still worthy. They laugh at you, they mock you, you're still worthy. Because your worth is not determined by anything outside of yourself. God made you, He blew his breath into you, and He gave you life, and therefore your worthiness is not something that can be broken. It's not something that can be ripped apart. It's not something that can be decreased. It's not something that can be declined. It's not something that can run out. It is not something that can be tampered with. People will try. They will. People will try to diminish your worthiness. People will try to tell you that because you don't have certain societal status, then you are not worthy. But don't pay attention to that, because nothing takes away from your worthiness. And therefore, you don't have to get attached to anything, to anyone, to any idea, to any concept. You can use a thing or an idea to express your divine purpose or your divinity. But at the end of the day, the thing does not determine who you are. So, I think I've said enough about that. But I thought I should say that because I spoke a lot about goal setting and accomplishing things And that's only because I believe 100% that our purpose on this planet is to live our best possible lives, to accomplish all that we came here to accomplish, to do, be, and have all that is possible in our lifetimes. So that's why I always do the goal setting, and I always will, because as I said, we are meant to do great things, all of us. And as I aspire to do great things myself, I want to inspire you to do great things yourself. So I hope that this video made sense to you. I hope you learned something, maybe something resonated, maybe you had an epiphany, maybe something. If it did, give the video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so, and tell me in the comments below how you felt about this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.